And we're back. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Ayan, andito po ngayon tayo sa panibagong session natin entitled Google Classroom, the new classroom for the new normal. Ano po? So, magandang hapon po ulit sa inyo at maraming pong salamat sa pagsubaybay sa ating session ngayon. So, ngayon po nandito si Sir Richard para po bigyan po ang ating manonood ng kaalaman para po sa paggamit ng Google Classroom. Kasi alam po natin maraming challenges tayo na na-encounter ngayon. Lahat po ay first-timer sa ganitong setup sa klase, no? So, para po maliwanagan tayo, nandito po si Sir Richard for this session. At kung meron po kayong mga katanungan, i-type nyo lang po sa ating comments area, mag-comment lang po kayo. Tapos po, kung meron po, sabihin niyo lang po kung saan kayo galing, batiin niyo naman po kami, ano? So, ang event po natin ay nangyayari, hindi lang po dito sa Pilipinas, kundi sa iba't ibang parte ng Asia Pacifico. Okay po? So, mamaya din po ulit, mamaya po may flash po kami evaluation para po makakuha naman kayo ng certificate. At baka po kayo ay manalo ng GCE Level 1 certificate kung hindi po kayo certified. Bukas po ng gabi mangyayari yun kapag nag-fill out po kayo ng evaluation before the end of our session. So, to tell us more about what is Google Classroom, si Sir Richard na po ang Sir Richard, go ahead. Go ahead po, sir.
Mayong hapon sa inyong tanan, Sir Gary. Thank you very much for the introduction. No? I'm Richard Mariveles. No? I'm so excited to be here with Google. No? So just by merely an invitation from Sir Ernie, ako grabe gito, so proud na iguging pa nagkuan pa ko I told my students that I'm going to present with Google, and everybody was so surprised and said, "Sir, Google ka pala?" Sabi ko, hindi ako si Google, magpe-present lang ako kay Google. So, yung topics ko ngayon, or ang topics ko subong, it's about Google Classroom based on my experience. Sir, and to all the listeners right now online, I tell you, it's been a crazy roller coaster ride sa akin to go back in college. Kasi I have stopped teaching for almost 5 years, sir. And yung mga basic movements ko sa teaching nawala na talaga. As in, no, I really wanted to put myself into backseat and parang easy stuff na lang. But nature calls because of this pandemic. So eto na naman, somebody told me, "You want to teach?" Sabi ko lang, mag-a-apply pa ako. And the next day, I already got a contract and said, "Magtuturo ka," without my consent. It was a roller coaster ride.
It's a command na po, no? It's not asking you, but informing you, no?
Yeah, sabi sa akin, "Sir, there's no one capable of doing this." Nako, sabi ko, no one, sobra naman kayo. Pero they know kasi my background as a webmaster, a multimedia journalist, a master's in information technology, of course, as a college professor, a graphic designer, an SEO advocate, Google advocate, and most of all, I miss this one. I love to play table tennis. So, because of this pandemic, everything shifted. Oh, everything shifted talaga. Sir, next slide po. I really wanted to...
Yes. Sige po. Bibigay ko na po sa inyo ang floor. No? Andito lang po ako sa background. Go ahead po.
Alright. Sige po. Thank you, sir. Okay.
Okay po.
Okay. Now, for those who wants to contact me, you can tweet me at Rich Mariveles. So everybody can get in touch with me, just in case you have any clarification or anything that you want to expound. Okay. Next slide, please. These are my students, my very, very precious students, no? You know, ang iban sa ila, kalabanan sa ila, they are on the upland barangays. Ang internet, pwerte gidya kahinay, as in super hinay gidya. Sometimes, iba ko na student, in reality, are really climbing trees and really climbing rooftops just to have class. But ambal ko sila, hindi nyo ko mag-risgo sa kabuhi nyo para lang sa amo ng abutang. Yati, sir, gusto na mo may boss damlag ba kami? dumatulo man luha ko, piti muna, wait may mahimo, no? So, ang mga students really love to participate, and these are just some of my students, and I just want to tell you that I'm really, really proud of them. Next slide, please. So what is Google Classroom? No? As defined by HiverHQ.com, Google Classroom is a free web-based learning platform developed by Google where teachers can run a class online, create curriculums, and share assignments with students in a paperless way. The platform simplifies teacher-student collaboration by leveraging the various G Suite services like Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides. Next slide, please. Who can use Google Classroom? Basically, anyone, no? With a Google account can use Google Classroom. Organizations using G Suite for education, nonprofits, schools, independent educators, homeschoolers, administrators, and families are all eligible to use Google Classroom. Teachers and students are primary users and can access Google Classroom through a school account. Next slide, please. Now, this is the story of my wild experience regarding Google Classroom. And now it helped me to kick back into the new normal. Next slide, please. Wait, wait, that. It was October 19. I really remember. This is the deadline where I really need to start my class. Gusto nila masugod ko October 19. But in-assign sa akon, ang akon nga subject, pag-assign sa akon, it was October 15. And ibuti ko kay ate ko, I'm taking lightly nga mabalik ko teaching. I never expect na maatag sa akon sang load because ang ambal ko, abinsaran ko anay, no? I will think of accepting the offer. So what happened is I was shocked when I was offered this course na ambal nila, sir, matudlo ka na, nasa October 19, sugot ka na. And sa October 15 lang ito nila inform. Okay? So, it was a roller coaster ride. Next slide, please. That's me, yeah. Of course, you have to, kita mga teachers, antes kita magklase, we need to make our curriculum, our syllabus, we have to make our own topics, libro references, and so on and so forth. It was really crazy. I didn't know where to get my resources considering na I've stopped teaching for quite some time. It was 5 years already na I stopped teaching. No? But it's the call of times, no? Pandemic eh. So they are searching for somebody to teach with a high IT skills. That's why nakita ko nila, I was recommended, and then voila, it was magic. Next slide, please. Ayawan ko pili, no? Before ko start klase, I started to select teleconferencing apps like Zoom, Messenger Rooms, Google Class, Meet, and then Skype. I was a legacy user of Skype. So I try to use Skype, but ginoo ko. Hindi, mga estudyante ko, hindi ka tanto makabalo. No? Noong ilang recommendation, gusto nila lain nga teleconferencing app ang ganito. So it was, the next slide, I made a poll which teleconferencing platforms do you prefer to use. So I made a poll so that I can choose the right tool for me. Everybody likes Google Meet. So there we go, Google Meet ang ginpili nila. And there they have their suggestions, somewhat their opinions regarding Google Meet. So I tried to use Google Meet. Next slide, please. Again, when I use Google Meet, I am already confused what to use again. No? Ang akong ginagamit sa una, last 5 years was Khan Academy sa akong mga student sa college. But when I went to, when I tried Khan Academy, join ko mga students, kata mo sang problema sa part sa student, which they're using phone. Kada mo sa sir, hindi ko kasulod. Naku nga, hindi kasulod naman code niya, sir, nagabalik, etc. daw. Kabudlay, no? Kung anong gamiton ko ba? Wala pa kuya actually kabalo kung may Google Classroom. Kaya nga nabatuan ko lang sa una was Google Scholar, mga mo na bla. I really never knew nga ang Google Classroom may capacity mag-amo sini. And of course, I was thinking long before nga Zoom ang gamiton ko. But uh, Google Classroom has really impressed me for one reason. Next slide, please. This is the reason why I use Google Classroom. It's clean and simple. Hindi ko gusto ng tamo, clutter, whatsoever. Gusto ko pag start ko, clean. No? And then, they're going to manage it on their own. Okay? That's why I use Google Classroom. So, next slide, please. Amo na yung itsura sa ako nga Google Classroom with how many subjects that I'm right now, I'm handling. So, amo na yung itsura sa Google Classroom ko. I just wanted to see how I used it now from every part of my engagement bilang isang teacher. Next slide, please. And then, here we go. The sign-up process. Aray based mo yung sa ako na experience. So, there's a video after this slide. Parang tanan makabati. Gin-record ko na niya siya days ahead. Kay I basi mo brown out. So, please play the video and I'm going to wait for it to finish. Okay po, since merong konting technical problem, no? Thank you po, Miss Maan. Um, um, yung Google Classroom, yung sinet up ko siya. It is really from scratch. Let me try. Yung tawag dito, yung app kasi na Google Classroom, you have to consider that you're going to use magamit ka sa computer as a teacher, and then you have a student here that probably may have a laptop, a computer, or a cell phone only. Or sometimes they have both, no? So yung, yung tawag dito, yung mix talaga ng technology is a bit confusing. That's why when I tried to test this one, meron akong tinatawag na emulator. So para ang mga student, if may kwan ko, gumawa ko ng tawag dito, resources or quizzes or assignments, I can test it using the phone. But of course, nasa computer pa rin. There are cases I tawag dito, I have experienced na yung mga students hindi makakasubmit ng kanilang assignments or assessments because yung phone nila is, I don't know, what's with Huawei, no? Confused. Bakit ba si Huawei na uh, teka, si Miss Man. Miss Man, ikaw na mag-share ng video. Sige. Um, Miss Man, I'm going to share the video na lang. Ano po?
Yes po, Sir Richard, kayo na lang po ang
Sige po.
mag-share.
Okay,
Po. Para po maano yung sound bed.
Okay, sige po. Dito
Kasi
na lang sa akin.
ma-show yung sound. Sige po, sir.
Okay. Try natin. Okay. Now, we are going to have a demonstration kung paano ta mag inang ubras ang inyong teacher account using Google Classroom. It's very important na ang inyong account is a teacher account because there are two accounts for Google Classroom. First, we have the teacher and the other one is the student. No? So, kamo as teacher, may dapat nalagyan. So, we're going to go to the search bars in Google search engine and type Google Classroom. There you go. So, ari siya actually ang Google Classroom. I-click na lang niya. Basta bag-o gid kamo nga way kamo account no ang makita nyo gid is this one. Right? So this is the account sang inyong email. In my case it's Gmail and i-continue ko lang. Then you go to this portion on the upper right, ano, kalimpyo sa Google Classroom no. Do wala gid wala ko out. Hindi siya complex no para sa akon hindi siya komplikado. So here makatungkol sa create or join class. So, I'll go to create class. There. And then, may ari na siyang using classroom at school with students. If so, your school must sign up for free G Suite for Education account before you can use Classroom. G Suite for Education lets schools decide which Google services their students can use and provides additional privacy and security protections that are important in school setting. Students can use or cannot use Google Classroom at a school with personal accounts. Okay? So just simply click this one, then continue. Kag ara dayon may magawa na dayon nga create class dialog box. So ang class name ko di butang ko lang di ano man grade, for example grade 10. Ang section is Section A, subject is Algebra 1. Ang room is, for example, mula ni Biya ako ng Virtual 1. Tapos, press create. And then it's creating, will take some time, a bit of time, and then wala. Ara na. Right? And then masuggest ni si Google about inviting your students to your class using the class code, uh, which will also be explained in the next video. Okay? Thank you. Sharing. Sige po. So, yung kwan, yung tawag dito, yung uh, teka, saglit. Eto. Mhm. The next slide po is about joining classes, no? Joining classes. So, yung kwan nyo, yung pag-set up nyo, this time, you have to strategize on how to make your students join the classes kasi yung iba kasi Facebook sabi pa talaga. Really don't know what to do. So, here it is, para makita nyo na. Set up already your subject within the Google Classroom. So it's about time you need to tell your students that there's already an existing subject for them na pwede sila ka-join. Now, here, I have an example side by side with Google Classroom and Facebook because this Facebook has been already there no, sa mga students ko long before. So I utilized it para tanan makakita every time I post something aside from Google Classroom. Okay? So, for example, ang tusing ni, click ko na siya. Try to get this link, copy invite link. Then, paste ko na dyan, please join our class. Okay. Then, ang code niya i-copy ko lang din. Then, i-paste. There. Alright? And then, post. Okay? Now, once posted, every member here makakita na sang gin-post nimo. And then they're going to click this one, no? They're going to click this one. Actually, the action of clicking this one is also the same with this one. Kung i-click mo, it's basically telling everybody else to go into this link pag-click na nila. Now, pag-click na nila, for example, ang isa ko ni ka account nga gin-ubra si si John Ovi. Okay, this one si John Ovi Mariveles. For example, click yan eh. Now, when you click this, it will going to send you to this link actually. So instead of clicking this kay masulod na diri na siya nga account magwa the same, dili ko siya pasudlon. So what I'm going to do is i-copy ko ulit. Considering amo ning account isang student, I'm going to paste the link here. Then join class. That's it. Join class. Okay? So to confirm the attendance or the entry of the student na nagsulod sa class, I have to go to this subject as a teacher. So I'm going to set it aside when I here. Okay, I'm going to put it here. And then this is the teacher's account. And then I'm going to look for the name of Janovi. Let's see. Okay. Hari siya. Okay. So, sulod bang siya. Alright? Now, you also have other options to invite users or students using this invite students option. You simply type the email address of the student in bulk, no? Or kung may damo-damo kang listings ng emails nila, basta imo student, you just simply type here and press the invite button. Okay? For example, invite ko ang si Richard Mariveles 2016 at gmail.com. Then invite. Okay, so the invitation has been sent to that email address. As long as the email address are not found here, and if I'm not mistaken, at least it's a working email. Working email. Alright? Dapat working email gid siya. Okay? So that's how it goes when you are going to invite the students using, of course, a blend of social media. And the other one is simply the invite students button here. Okay? Thank you. Next po is how now that you have your that you have your students na in the classroom, you can make what you call assessments na informative exercises, blah 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 na, this teacher stuff kumbaga. Now, first we're going to deal with this one on making assignments, no? Assignments na muna. So i-play ko lang ang video and everyone please observe kung paano gawin ang kung paano gawin o kung paano brahon ang assignments using Google Classroom. Okay. With Google Classroom, teachers can also make assignments. Okay? Assignments. Of course, hindi siya bag-o para sa tanan. Ang assignment is a routinary activity for a teacher and a student in formative stage, most probably. So, what we're going to do is we're going to do this grade 10A class, and then we're going to make an assignment. No? Now, i-maximize ko na siya, anay. Oh, by the way, these two windows here are from an emulator, no? Which will basically perform like a Android phone. Okay? So, i-maximize ko na siya. Later, balikan to sila. Create an assignment. So, for example, I'm going to pick an assignment label here. Assignment number 1. Personal profile. Describe yourself in 1 sentence. Then I'm going to have options, for example, for Android users. Submit your answer using Google Docs. One for Huawei users, submit your answer using private comment. Okay. Now, if here I'm going to give an outright score. For example, basta maka-answer sila by 5 points, and then the deadline will be on December 5, and also 5 o'clock PM dapat makasubmit na sila. Okay? So I'm going to assign this, no? Or wait, I'm going to make a topic about assignment. And I'm going to assign, or if you have other plans, you can save it as a draft. I'm going to assign now. All right. So na-create ng assignment. So let's go and check sa duwa ka student nga gahulat sang assignment, no? Well, in this case, the two are still waiting for the assignment. But usually, if it happens kung hindi mag-abot, usually real time na siya. Of course, you just simply have to refresh the app. And then, you have the assignments here. Now, di tayo mauna sa kay P, kay Phil Sport. Double click on it. Again, this is a student. Now, if this is the Android phone, I'm going to submit my answer using Google Docs. So I'm going to click here and add attachment and new docs. Okay, the application will pop out, of course. There you go. All right. Now, ining account is also ang pangalan niya is Richard Mariveles man. But this is again a this is a student account. No? Now let's try to describe myself. I'm tall, dark, and okay, handsome. Ganun. No? Kuno abi, I'm tall, dark, and handsome. For example, daw ala Richard Gomez. But no, for example, amo lang ng answer na now, I'm going to execute this one to finish the editing. And then, all changes have been saved. There. If you notice, there are no submit buttons around, no? But here, these are all other options which is somewhat not related to the attachments. Ang inyong file na ginobra, when it is saved, you just have to close this one. Close mo lang. Right? And then, in your file, you just have to turn it in. Turn in. Okay. One attachment will be submitted for assignment number 1. Okay. Personal profile, turn in. Okay, there you go. So, nag-submit na sa subong and the work is submitted as indicated here. Let's see if indeed na turn in siya. Let's see. There you go. Ay isa na nag-turn in. No? So here, isa pa lang nag-submit, may-ari pa tayo isa pa yan. Okay, so si J or isa pa account will going to open this one. And if you're considering this is a Huawei phone, di lang siya ma-answer sa private comment. Okay? So ang iyang answer, for example, I'm tall, fair, sweet, and beautiful. Beautiful. There you go. Then, i-send mo na siya ngayon. Okay? Now, click. That's a private comment ko no, Abi. Nangiyagin submit. And then, your comment should be marked as done. Right? You didn't attach anything to assignment or run, so nothing will be turned in. Your teacher will see it's done. So mark as done. Okay? There. Let's see kung may nakita din ang sunod. Mm-hmm. Now, if you can notice here, why may nagsulod na sining nga answer. Only one ato nag-submit. Oh, okay na gali. Turned in. Two. Okay na siya. Okay? So, there's already two parang sini? Two answers already. So, let's check. Right? So, ang first na nag-answer is this one. Si attach. Nag-attach ng Google Docs. Let's see. Now, for example, gaan mo na ni grade, no? Outright, 5 din na. Then, you can also do private comment. For example, you're going to comment na very good and then post mo, then return. Student will be notified and can check any grade you left. Return. Yeah. We'll check later on sa students. Right? And then, i-close nyo na siya, kina-send nyo na to. And then, the other one is, if you notice again, graded is isa. So, ibilin pa nga isa. Check pa ni kung ano ning iya ya. Ang iniya, of course, ari lang yung iya answer. No? I'm tall, sweet, I'm tall, fair, sweet, and beautiful. No? If you can look at this, i-click mo na siya, ang iya answer goes in a thread. No? Naka-thread siya. Okay? So, no grade ko na din nabutang, but actually, may option sa makabutang na grade. No? Okay. So, nakada 5 points, then we can return. Ang for example, ma-advise kasi yan na please change your phone then return. Huawei mo. Okay? So, there you go. May comment na si teacher. Now, kung balikan ta ang mga estudyante nga window. Let's see kung anong nabato na nila. If you notice here, and this one, if you're going to click on this again, mayroon rin siya nga option, no? Nakita nyo nga 5 over 5 na. This is the score, di ba? It's 5 over 5. And then, si teacher, may comment na very good. And this one also, may sa 5 over 5 na score. And ang comment sa idalom, ang ginahambal ni teacher Gina, is also available for the student to read. So you see, that's flexibility in the parts ng Google Classroom. No? Sometimes may ara events nga ang device really hindi maka-adjust, but Google Classroom has found some a bit of ways to make things work. Okay, so that would be all in making the assignments in Google Classroom. Thank you. Okay, now assignments. Well, of course, small stuff on assignments. Next, I'm going to teach here is about making quizzes, but this time make cross applications with Google Forms. I tell you, this is very, very interesting and very, very easy, especially kung you're always in a rush, always on the run. No, you will have to try this Google Forms also, but you have to start with Google Classroom. Okay, so here we go. Okay, now we're going to perform yung tawag nila quiz assignment, no? Para sa mga teachers. Ang quiz assignment, muna siyang features ang Google where pwede ka mo kaobra quizzes using Google Classroom. Okay? Now, i-introduce ko sa inyo muna siya ang quick way. Quick way para ang inyong quizzes, maobra nila yon using Google Classroom. Now, di kita masugod sa grade 10. No? Okay? And kadto sa classwork. Create quiz assignment. Okay. Taon the first quiz. Please open the form touch and answer the questions. Okay. Imuo ko lang ni siya 5 ang score. Oops. Then, ang due date niya, butang ko lang sa 5. Ang time niya, imuo ko lang alas 3. Okay? Stress. Topic. Create na ko topic. Quizzes. No? Oops, double I don't mo. Quizzes. Okay, quizzes for midterm period. Okay. Then, click ko ni ang Google Forms blank quiz. Now, pag-click nyo na si Google Classroom, may mga embedded na to sa mga commands nga haboy sa Google Forms nga dapat amuning imo i-set diyo para hindi na problema mga teachers. Now, ang ako nang din observe nga medyo daw may idugang ko nga settings diri nga ilainon ko lang. For example, this one, collect email address, one ko select ko tapos limit to one response. Ambot siningon sini nga ang estudyante maka-submit lang quiz once, so limit to one response. And then, ang mga nagsabat, hindi na pwede na maka-edit kung mag-submit sila. Ano lang inadugan ko lang yun. And then, sa presentation, may progress bar na ko. And the questions will going to shuffle. No? While abot sa later, if shuffle ang choices, here, shuffle ta the question. Ang quizzes, immediately after each submission, okay lang siya for the meantime, mula na siya na. And I'm going to press the save button. Leave this portion untouched. And save. Okay. There. Mobra question base diri sa mga stock ko nga stock questions ko. I'm just going to make 5. Okay, 5 lang kabilog para short lang maka-demonstrate ko sa inyo. Post, and then ma-arrow down ko, and then another one, FTP site, and then subject directory, then these are the choices. Kita hindi may suggest si Google Form, no? Dito, oh. So, what you're going to do is, do not click that one. Kaya once you click mo na, madugang na di siya. Okay? Madugang na di siya. So, hindi na siya pag i-click. Alright? So, ang imo ta dito mag-click ko. This one. And then, ang answer is actually this one. And there. Every time mag-click ka da one point, may monitor din sa mabaw ang accumulative niya nga value. Okay? And then, required mo gini siya para hindi ma-leave siya nga blank. And I'm going to shuffle the answer in a random manner. Another question. Okay, another item, I mean. This one. And this one. Okay. Okay. And then, okay. Pang tali. Kayohon. Mayari ko di ba question bank na actually. Mga ginatamdan. So, much easier for me to demonstrate kung ano ang actual, no? These are actually questions from the college students na ginapang tudluan. And I think at least these are all related and relevant, kumbaga. Hindi lang sila nga lorem ipsum or whatsoever. Okay, let's go. Answer key. 1 point, and then the answer here is uniquely identifies the location of each computer connected to the internet. Ano na siya? Sequence of numbers identifies location of each computer. Ano siya? IP address. Okay, done. Required. And if you don't want to shuffle, just leave it blank, unchecked. But I want this one to be shuffled. Next question. Number 3, ano na? Maulan. Okay. And then the answer is water, a registrar, icon, an ISP. And then the answer is actually a register. Done. Required. Next, number 4 question. I-copy, paste. There you go. IP address. There you go. Okay. Domain, name, system. Then, yung abbreviation. Top dash level domain. TLD. And then file protocol FTP. WTC. Okay. The answer for this one is actually this one. And 1 point. Done. Last question. Last item. Okay. 4 points pa lang. Here's the last one. Lumaulan. Yes. Okay. Password. Anonymous FTP. Phishing filter. Proxies. Okay. The answer for this one is proxies. We have already 5 points. And then, Tikuni, and then, shuffle. There you go. Now, of course, double check din anay, antes i-publish. Now, okay ko pag ano makano. See? Double check din pa rin. Okay, but this one, okay, good enough. This one, okay. Right. And we're done. Okay? But, nalipat ko magbutang sa title. Okay, first quiz. First is, okay, depende na sa inyo kung anong inyo ibutang ng file name on. And this one also. Now, next. Make sure na butang di all changes saved and drive. Okay? All changes saved and drive. Para sure ka mo nga na ubra dito ang inyong tapos yung ginobra at na-save siya sa cloud. Okay? Now, I'm just going to go back there. Okay, there. And then assign. Now, kung tanawon mo ang first quiz, of course, no? You need to click it. Hari na siya, diba? Right? Take note, ari pagyapon ang quiz, why ko siya close, ha? Okay? Teacher mode ni Subong. Teacher. But, let's open the student kung ano ang student niya. Now, for example, si student, no, ari siya. Ang ngalan niya ni si Richard Mariveles man. But, this is my son's account. It's John Obi, no, ng account. And the teacher is, okay, this is the teacher pala, no? And this is the account of my son. Now, i-click ko ni. And then, ang iyang stream feed, may isang first quiz. Click ko lang ni siya. If I am a student, then there you go. May nagawa na nga interface for the students to answer. But, dapat i-click niya na ulit. Don't touch anything dire. This one lang. Okay? Sa mga students. Now, before mag-answer, ibutang gid permi ang email address kung sino ang ma-answer nga estudyante, dapat i-indicate gid ang iya nga email address just to be sure. May experience ko nagla sa nanigad nga why ko din paamon niyo puputang ang email lang sinala-sala ako sa mag-uhan lang ko to. Nagsala-sala lagi kuya kung kasi no ni answer, no? Mayo lang kay may screenshots ko. But mas namin gid akong sakto di ba? Now, answer ka. Computer device, host, name, example name, and server. Alright, and then I'm going to submit. Yay! Ang student, pwede na yun makakita sa kanyang score. So, 3/5. Okay? So, dasig makakita ang estudyante sa iyang score. Kag hindi na kamo madugayan pa sa answer nga using paper and pencil whatsoever. Very easy. No? Okay? Now, mabalik kita sa interface to kaina kung sa diin ang student nag-open sa quiz. Dito siya sa first tab. Wait for a while. There you go. Nadula di ang button kaina nga green and then it says nga no work attached but nakasubmit na kamo. Automatically, it communicates si Google Form and Google Classroom nga na-accomplish yan ang iya work, no, for the quiz. Again, this is for the student. Nabalik kita sa teacher mode. Yeah, teacher. Ayun, nag-shift. Kita nyo, nag-shift from kay na 0, then now it's 1. May nag-submit na. Okay? So, paano na makita sa teacher ang answer ka student? Paano? Diri kita makato. Alright. If you notice, there's a response value na nga 1. Ang 1 nga value, halin na to sa kay John Obi Mariveles na nag-submit siya. So, makita mo na di ang correct answers versus the answers also nga incorrect. No? It gives you a statistical number kung damo sila. Really. Okay? So, that's how easy it is. And if you're going to look at the question, the tab, no? Kita mo na if you're going to do it this way, no? On an individual basis, makita mo man kung sino ang nag-answer. Totong email niya ko. Ang email niya. Again, if there are many respondent sa imo nga classroom, amo na siya makita mo nga damo na i-drop down. You can either print the responses, no? For example, i-print mo siya. No? And then, pakita mo niya as evidence of learning. No? You can print this as a PDF or if you have your own printer, Or if there are massive answers, for example, you have 30 students or 50 students or more, you can download all of the responses in a zip format. May nga na to .csv, no? But here's a file type. It says dot WinRAR zip archive. So if you're going to download this one, for example here, save mo na siya. Then there you go. Pwede mo na ma-open din yung file mo diri. I'm going to double click this one. Look at the just look at um, the answers. Okay. Okay. Whew.
Ayan po, sir, ano? Marami pong features si Google Classroom, ano po? Napaka dali pong gamitin. Bilang guro po, nandun lahat ng features na kailangan niyo. Ano po? Tama po ba, sir? So,
I
kaya
think,
po, maging madali para sa inyo bumalik.
yes po. Yes po. Tama po talaga kayo. You feel me po. I think yung discussion about the assessment, yung sa quiz, is the most important part of Google Classroom. Kasi talaga po, ako na-experience ko po, I have 100 plus students na talaga. And it's really, really hard for me to manage if I'm doing to do it in brick and mortar na way, a method, kumbaga. So ito, I hope with all limited lang kasi po yung time natin, but to all the watchers, to all the listeners, to all our audience right now, I will going to forward the videos to our group para po you can go back and watch the videos to make it more purposive sa lahat po.
Okay. Meron din po kami hinahanda na lahat po ng resources ng ating speaker matatagpuan po doon sa isang URL po. So, bukas po i-announce namin pag naihanda na po. Pero bago
Sige
po bukas, nandun na po lahat. So, kung ano man po, Sir Richard, ang ma-share nyo, i-send nyo lang po sa amin. No?
Yes,
so, po. Sir Richard, maraming salamat po ulit. Ano? At pinaunlakan niyo po kami. Tapos po sa ating manonood, yung ating pong Google form ay yung evaluation form po ay para po makakuha kayo ng certificate dito sa episode o sa session na po. Tapos po, bali po doon kung nag-submit po kayo ng pangalan nyo, may chance po kayo makakuha ng GCE Level 1 voucher. Ano po? So para po doon sa hindi pa hindi pa po pasado o hindi pa po nakakapag-take, ayun po, ang worth po nun is around $10. Baka pagkaroon po kayo ng chance kapag nag-fill out po kayo. So, yung evaluation po, ang hinihingi lang naman po dyan ay yung inyong pangalan para po mailagay namin sa certificate nyo naman. Ano po? Ayan. Sir Richard, last question na lang. Bilang guro po na nasanay sa pagtuturo doon sa old ways natin, ano po ang masasabi nyo o maipapayo nyo doon sa mga guro na nahihirapan mag-discover ng technology? Kasi naiintindihan ko naman po na sa dami po ng pwedeng gamitin, ayun po, nahihirapan sila. Siguro po, unang tanong is yung payo nyo at bakit po G Suite ang ginamit ninyo? Ano po?
G Suite po yung ginamit ko kasi number one, ito yung nakita ko sa Google nung tinanong ko. I asked Google talaga po, which is the best, kumbaga. And ito yung sa Google, ang kanilang design are intuitive. And cross-platform po talaga. Just imagine po, I'm lost already in the education paradigm. And then I went back, it's all digital. Yung nasanayan ko po is ito po, of course, everybody knows this. Ito po nakasanayan po namin, kahit po IT po ako, yung pagka-IT ko naman, hindi ko madadala po doon sa school kasi yung sabi ng aming principal, sir, just use po your paper and pencil. Well, it's okay. Well, here we go right now at the new normal. I tell you
Na-force po lahat,
everybody.
na-force po bigla
Yes
sa
po.
new normal
Yes
natin,
po. So, eto po for sa mga gusto pong magtawag dito. Gusto pong
transition po.
mag-study na nahihirapan po tungkol dun sa learning platforms like this. I strongly advise you use G Suite. Number one, for now, it's free. It's being offered as a free tool for all education sectors. Number two, it's really user intuitive talaga, no? User intuitive siya. And then the other advice po is seek a technical advice just like what we have here at Google Education Group. Talaga pong really, it helps me a lot to spring back into education. And I love it. And my students
Ay,
love it.
opo, 'no? Ang mahalaga
Okay
po
po.
kasi pinakamahalaga po ako din po maka-Google kasi po kilala po or alam po ni Google ang kung saan kailangan mag-focus yung mga guro. Kaya ginawa po nila, dinesign po nila ang kanilang tools na hindi na mahihirapan yung mga hindi ganong techy, o yung medyo hindi tech savvy, pinadali po nila yung paggamit. Kaya sino po ba naman nakakapag-akala na pwede palang automatic checking sa Google Forms. Tapos, ayun po, pwede palang gamitin ang Google Classroom sa synchronous at asynchronous class.
Tama po.
Yun po. So, yun po, nakakatawa po. You are an inspiration po sa maraming guro po natin na nahihirapan kasi kayo po mismo napagdaanan nyo. Ang mahalaga lang po, naging malakas ang loob nyo at hindi po kayo
Just imagine po, sir, I was assigned October 15 and I have to do all this stuff on October 19 na gulong-gulo yung buhay ko.
October 19, 15, wala pong isang linggo yun,
Oh, sir.
Pero,
usually po, sir, it will take a month eh. Okay. Kinaya talaga.
So, ganun po talaga kadali gamitin ang tools. Una-una. Pangalawa po, yun, tama po yung sinabi nyo, binigay na po yan ni Google sa ating lahat, lalo-lalo na po sa non-profit organization at sa DepEd. Hindi lang po sa mga guro, pati po sa mga estudyante, naka-ready na po yan i-roll out, Meron na po yan. Tapos, namigay pa po ang Google sa pamamagitan po ni Miss Eileen Apollo de Jesus na isang Pilipino na nagtatrabaho sa Google Singapore na senior project manager po. Nabigay po siya para sa mga guro ng 5,000 GCE level 1. Bukod pa po ito sa pinamimigay namin ngayon dahil po dito sa GEG APAC event. Ganun po kamahal, Miss Eileen, ang ating mga guro dito na po sa Pilipinas. Ano po? Ayun po.
Sige po.
Yun po, kung meron pong interesado, kasi hindi po alam lahat ng mga taga-DepEd na meron palang ganon. Nasa Facebook page po yan ng GEG Philippines. Puntahan nyo lang po, bisitahin nyo lang po. So we will announce po the other details tomorrow. Sir Richard, maraming salamat po ulit.
Maraming po. Buhay po kayo.
Para po sa ating mga manonood, ayan po, nangamusta sila. Nagsabi sila, ayan, hello Sir Guy, galing po ng eskwela. Ayan po, daghang salamat. Ayan
Hello,
po,
Sir Alex.
Ayan po sila, Ayan po ang ating, pasensya na po, wala naman tanong kasi napakalinaw naman po ng explanation ninyo, Ayan po, ang sabi pa ni Bam Smith, captivating session, di po ba? Tapos meron pa po tayong viewer from Kidapawan City. Ayan po, marami po sila. Good afternoon daw po from Iloilo. Ayan po, So, yung po ninyo, yung inyo pong inspire ay galing po sa iba't ibang lupalop ng Pilipinas po, So, maraming salamat po ulit, Sir Richard.
Sige po, sir.
Okay po. So, para po sa lahat, paalam po. Meron na pong nagsimula na alas 3 at meron pa po mamayang alas 4, meron pa po mamayang alas 8, meron pa po bukas. Bisitahin niyo lang po yung aming post sa GEG Philippines for the complete list. Maraming salamat po. It's better together, GEG APAC, and para sa bayan. Ano po? Paalam po!
Paalam po!